Celica's confirmed for Warriors. No, we're not doing that again. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fire Emblem Blazing Swords. So, as I announced at the beginning, Celica's and Warriors. Hooray! So, it looks like the leak was real. You know, Lyn and Celica are here. This screams great news for all of us. But in terms of the game, so we just took down Sonya. You know, she's completely done with. Nino and Jafar on the side. So we're heading off to the Shrine of Seals to, you know, get all the stuff we need in order to take down Nagal. The Queen did say burn won't interfere during that time, but with, you know, the Black Fang isn't completely over and done with, because you remember Linus is still alive, so you know we've got to deal with him and his merry group of friends. So that it's going to be quite the challenge, because this is basically the last of the Black Fang, if you will. So for them, this is a last-ditch effort. That everything's on the line, and because, you know, essentially, you know, because Linus died and now the dad's dead, and, you know, sorry, I meant Lloyd died. I wanted to say, I can't believe I got this wrong. Linus is in the beginning, yeah. Sorry, Lloyd. Sorry, I can't believe I got this too much. Linus died ages ago. Yeah. And and all the other Fang are with him because they believe in Reed and the brothers and stuff like that. You know, this is the honourable members of the Fang, and now they're all just, you know, they're out for a last-ditch effort. They may die, but what the hell? It's like, to be fair, we won't survive this. They have Lyn on their side. Oh, shit. Yeah. So there's that to deal with. Before this, the Q&A session I'll start doing the Q&As as soon as I'm done talking about the chapter, which I'll talk about in a second. So this is pretty much just, now it's just Eliwood needs to get the things he can promote, because he's still there, not in the Night Lord, because Lyn's already promoted, Hector recently promoted, and so on. Yeah. You're Eliwood, right? How does everyone know who I am? I should have never taken off my disguise. It was so brilliant. Yeah, the Mad Dog Linus, the White Wolf Lloyd. Personally, I think a wolf is scarier than a dog. It's essentially just a big dog, you know. Yeah, this is what Nino hints to. You can get a conversation between her and Lloyd if you use Nino, which I will be using because, you know, Nino leveled up a lot, and, you know, what do you call it? You know, I want to show off as much of this game as possible, so we show off the conversation. And thankfully for us, this is also when Nino's going to promote. Yeah, we're actually going to Nino promote. And, you know, to them, they're no longer Fangs. Well, to be fair, Jafar was kind of an iffy member to begin with. And Nino, bless your soul, you tried to be one, but you're just so cute. To be fair, if this was Fire Emblem Heroes Nino, she'd be stronger than all the Fangs. She'd be like, fuck you, Sonya. I lead in this group now. And I'm only God knows how old. God. I don't know why, specifically, she became so strong in Heroes. Like, I don't know what it was, that maybe the developers really liked Nino. It's like, fuck it, she's been really strong. So anyway, Chapter 27, Call of Destiny. I like this chapter. It made it on my top 15. What I like about it is, well, remember in the past how I complained that Blazing Sword was often didn't throw enough units at you? Not the case here. Now they throw a shit ton of units at you. Granted, they're not too hard, the units, but they definitely, you know, there is a lot of them. There's a mix of normal and pre-promotes. If you're careless and a bit silly, then they might get the better hand on you. If you're careless. If not, then you could be fine. But also, this map is very much, because of how it's laid out, divide and conquer. So up the top, up the north, you've got paladins and nomads, or cavaliers and nomads. Through the center, you've got warriors and knights. To the left, you've got myrmidons and heroes. So you split up the army in a formation where you send in the best units to take them on. So through the front, we're using the paladins just to weaken the knights so Nino can pick them off. We send like, and we got Dorcas also there. And then through the left, we send Raven and Hector. Even though Hector actually has a sword, so it's fine. And we send Oswin, and also send Heath. Through the top, we send Lyn, we send Raph, we send Fiora. Remember, she's got the Delphi shield, so you know she doesn't have to worry about archers. And Eliwood as well. I like this map overall. I mean, it's not too hard. I just like how much, like, the map keeps throwing stuff at you. There's a lot of units. It keeps you busy. It's one of the definitely more involved maps. And Lloyd is also quite the difficult boss. I personally think. I mean, he's got so much speed that even your fastest units probably won't get doubled, but won't double him. The best thing to do is like to bait him out with at range with Thingamajig, because it's easier to fight him that way. We'll see that more when we get to fighting him. But he's definitely no slouch. You know, Lloyd is no slouch. So anyway, now that that's over with, I think it's time we get to the Q&A session. So, and we've got a shit ton of questions, so let's get to it. Okay, first up, hold on a second. Yep, okay. Do you think third tier units should be in more Fire Emblem games? Yes, I really like third tier units and I'd like to see more of them, especially because, like, while Radiant Dawn and Echoes have done third tier, they've done it for the mostly the more generic classes. I mean, Radiant Dawn did have some exotic ones, but I'd love to see more, especially because Fates introduced a lot of really exotic classes. So, you know, Master Ninjas become, like, I don't know, Ancient Ninjas or Omega Ninjas or Genji. My third class is just Genji. Malik Knights becomes like Revenant Knights, or Reaver Knights, like third tier Dark Knights, like Phantom Knights, or something like that. Third tier Butlers and Maids, so you become Rem and Sebastian depending on your gender. Like, yeah, just third tier, like the more exotic classes in third tier would be great. I'd love to see it. Like, I wonder what a third tier Kinshi Knight would be. Would that be like, I don't know, an Angelic Knight or like a Phoenix Knight? You know, something like that. You know, I'd really like to see more third tiers with more classes. Also, it'd give us more, to be fair, most Fire Emblem games you don't, like, by the time you've capped everyone, you're at the end of the game. Like, for this game, to be fair, this game I actually rarely cap that many people. But in stuff like Conquest, in Path of Radiance, you know, by the time you've reached the end, not all units will be capped, and some of them will, so you don't have that much of a drive to make it third tier, whereas in Echoes and Radiant Dawn it was designed in the way where you should make them third tier, but I would like to see them come back because they are awesome. It just gives you that drive and it just makes your units feel so damn strong. Next question. What was the first shiny Pokemon you ever encountered? Well, if we're not counting the red Gyarados, because that's technically cheating, it was Pokemon Heart Gold. I encountered a golden Hoot Hoot. I remember that one, I caught it. It was really cool. It was at nighttime as well. Yeah. After that, there have been quite a few others. I had a shiny Aron in Emeralds when I went back to play that. So I have a shiny Aggron, shiny Mime Jr. There are other shinies I have that just, I can't figure them off the top of my head. But the first one was a shiny Hoot Hoot, not counting the shiny Gyarados. What do you think of Mighty Number 9? Mighty Number 9 is something else. Like, it's just not very well designed. It looks like it was rushed. It looks like it was also cheap, which it shouldn't be. I mean, some of the stuff like the zipping is cool, but it's just not. It's just a mess of a game. I reckon, given if it was a lot more cleaned and polished, I don't think it would have been an amazing game. I just think it would have been a really solid Mega Man style game with a few new things, which I'd be fine with. It's just a case of like, it's just you could tell it's really unfocused and unpolished. That's its problem. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just more what it had going, and considering all the talent it had behind it, it shouldn't have ended up this way. Now I got to play Fire Emblem 20, but we don't have Fire Emblem 20 yet. Have you played the Mega Man Battle Network series? No, I have not. I've heard they're kind of fun RPGs and kind of cool, but I haven't played them. Will I play them at one point? Probably, but no, not anytime soon. After that, aside from Sumia, who else in particular would you like to see being added to Fire Emblem Heroes that isn't in yet? Also got to play Fire Emblem Echoes. Who else would I like to add? Mostly, it's just, to be fair, I think what Fire Emblem Heroes really needs is just mostly bad guys and maybe more beast units. Like, Leon, you've had Lloyd, so I can't remember if Linus is in there. He might be actually, I can't remember. Get more of the Black Fang, get Nagal, get Sonya, you know, get Linstella. Yes, I remember their name this time. Get, Arvis would be awesome, I'd love to see Arvis in the game. It's mainly the bad guys I'd like to see. I think that that's what Heroes needs more of. But others, like, I'd actually really like to see Garen in the game. What if he was, like, became, like, an axe unit with distant, like, another Hector, but, like, not as fast, but way bulkier? That'd be cool. I think it'd be interesting to see if Makoto made it into the game, or, like, just other units. I'm trying to think of other ones. Like, I'd love to see the Lagoose Kings, like, they'd be really good. And other people, more Dawn Brigade characters, some more Binding Blade units. We need more Wyverns, if you ask me. We don't have Jill and we don't have Milady. We need more Wyverns. Give us more Wyverns. So yeah, stuff like that. Those type of characters. Yeah, pretty much bad guy, mostly bad guys and other people. If Fire Emblem Warriors got a DLC pack, a BLAZEPLAYS DLC pack with 5 characters, 2 of them being Eliwood and Hector, who would you want for the other 3? The 2 definite others, I want Nino and Jafar, because Nino's adorable and Jafar, you know, he's one of the best he was the first assassin, so give it to him. As for the last character they could put in the game, well, possibly Athos, and Nagal if you want to get more plot relevant. If not that, I love the Warriors critical animation. It's one of my favorites. It's so good. I just love it. It goes with Crash Bandicoot on us. Whoa! Raven would be cool. Lucius would be nice. I'm trying to think of also the ones that are more prominent in the story and relevant. Raph would be kind of cool. And I'm trying to think, is there anyone else? I can't say no, not really, just because they're kind of generic cavaliers. Just because they're not generic cavaliers, just because they kind of are cavaliers. Oh, Nils and Ninian. One of the 2 is like a dancer class that switches to dragons during the fighting. So definitely like Nino Jafar, possibly Nils Ninian, Athos and Nagal. One of those. That would be my BLAZEPLAYS Sword one. Next question after that. Okay. What's your favorite class in Fire Emblem? Mine's the Berserker. Well, I made a video. This is my first ever Fire Emblem video. Mine was and still is the Knight or General class. I just love them. More specific, I will say, it's more specifically Generals, because Knights definitely have their shortcomings, whereas Generals, a lot of them are like taken care of when they promote, because they get like access to axes, they tend to get good resistance boosts, and usually they're strong enough to just one-shot a mage. And even then, some of them, if you're lucky enough, are fast enough to double units. Not often, but if you're lucky enough. You know, the Generals are really where it's at. Not so much Knights, but definitely the Generals. That's where it's at. Yeah. Next is, who's your favorite Swordmaster, Berserker, and Halberdier / Spearmaster in the series? My favorite Berserker, alright, if we're just going off pure, like, they come in as Berserkers, then it would be Hawkeye, because my favorite fighter that becomes Berserker is Charlotte. But if we're going off straight, like, they start as a Berserker, then it's definitely Hawkeye. Because Hawkeye's cool. I like Hawkeye. Also, there aren't that many straight-up Berserkers in Fire Emblem. There are quite a few, but not that many. In terms of Swordmaster, if we're going straight Swordmaster, then we've got to take into consideration, like, because, well, if you want to get technical, Xerox is one in Radiant Dawn, and so is Mia. So you could count them. If not, then it's people like Sayri, Ryoma, Karel, Carla, Stefan, and so on. In which case it would be Ryoma. Just because I like Ryoma, I think he's cool. He's got some good supports, does quite a bit in the story. Not the most interesting character, but I think he's cool. And definitely out of the Hoshido siblings, he seems like the one. He seems like out of all the Hoshido siblings, he seems like the one who has the biggest grasp on reality. Because one thing I did kind of notice, which was something I've always kind of noticed with I don't know if this is just me. This is kind of attention to detail. Like Xander, Camilla, and Leo were all pre-promotes. Ryoma's the only pre-promote in his family. And I took that as a sign as like they're more battle experience, because Camilla and because of how Nor is and the way like Garen raises his children, like all of them would be battle experience. Like Elise is young, so she wouldn't be one. But like Ryoma, sorry, not Ryoma, like Camilla, Leo, and especially Xander, they've all been to battle. They've all promoted units, stuff like that. Don't know why I use a still axe against him, but what the hell. Whereas, like, the only one in Hoshido that feels like he's actually had the experience and has a grasp on the real world is Ryomo, because Takumi, Camilla, Takuri, Hinoka, and Sakura are all thingamajigs. They're all whatchamacallit units. Just standard. And they're kind of like, the way they act is also feels the same, because they're a lot more hot-headed and a bit more immature compared to like the Norian siblings, not counting Elise, because Elise is a different case. But yeah, that's what I got, so I like Ryoma because he feels like a lot more grounded than the other 3, and he's just a really fucking good unit. Like, he's a sword master that's not just all about speed. He's actually built, like, as far as sword masters go, if I remember, he's kind of bulky, as in, like, not massively, but he can take a hit. Granted, no one ever hits him, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'd say Ryoma, and Halberdier, Nephany. I just love Nephany. Keep in mind, Radiant Dawn, and Aaron technically doesn't start as one, and Abora doesn't start as one either. I mean, Abora is my second favorite of just spear users. But Nephene's straight up love Nephene. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And then it was... What's your favorite Dark-type Pokemon? Favorite Dark-type Pokemon is Umbreon. A lot of that has to do with the fact that growing up, during Gen 3, I'm one of the people who played Pokemon, started with... Well, definitely have to play Echoes. Started with Gen 1 and 2. I started with Gen 2, then backpedaled to Gen 1, but I grew up during, like, the Pokemania, so I was there. I was a 90s kid. And I was still playing Gen 3. I was playing Emerald, I was playing Gold... I was playing Emerald, playing Ruby and Sapphire, and I was playing a lot of Colosseum. My Pokemon high didn't stop until Gen 4, where I completely fizzled out, and then didn't come back until Gen 6. Sort of. And then it's just going on, talking about why Rap had to leave the tribe and Storm. I was saying, yeah, so, because it's a Colosseum, I grew a really grew massive affection to Umbreon because of how bulky it was. When I played Heart Gold, whenever it was doing the Battle Tower or whatever it was, and you had to do rental Pokemon, Umbreon was one of the best ones because it just takes so many fucking hits. And I've raised quite a few Umbreons, and again, they're just such brilliant tanks. I love them. Plus, Umbreon's adorable, and Umbreon is also not only my favorite Dark type, Umbreon is also my favorite evolution. Yeah. So, Umbreon. So, Raph had quite the bad upbringing because of an Omen. You know, he had to wander by himself, but, you know, he's kind of cold towards everything. But he's always been alone. So again, seeing someone like Lynn, for him, is like a revelation, because he's been abandoned by his people, and Lynn lost her people, so for them, they're the two, they're like, you know, they're essentially birds of a feather. I mean, Raph's always going to be cold, but at least to Lynn, he gets, you know, where she's going. And, you know, because of A support, Sue is confirmed. Sue is confirmed for this playthrough. It's funny because in these playthroughs, in this Hexa Hard mode, Lynn's going to be Roy's mum. Okay. You mentioned, next question, you mentioned once that you disliked Molder for sake of stones. Why so? We brought this up in another part, but it's more just a case of, when Natasha came along, I just found her to be an overall better thing, even though she's not as bulky, but her magic was better. And Molder, it's mainly because I just think he's boring. His character does not interest me. His supports, personally, I'm not a fan of. I just don't like Molder because he's a really boring, forgettable character. That's just me. Okay, what gimmick specifically do you want back for Fire Emblem 2018? So, Fire Emblem Switch. What gimmicks do I want back? Well, it depends what you define by gimmicks. I want personal skills back. I thought that was one of the best things Fates added. I really hope personal skills do become back. I hope Power Up still remains. I still think the way Fates did it was really good, and I think it's a addition the series should keep with from now on. They don't need it in every game, especially for like if it's a classic and it's not built with Power Up in mind. Like I can't see Echoes working with Power Up. Like good God, can you imagine a Dread Fighter with Power Up? Oh man, you just broke the fucking game in half. So I do hope it comes back. Dragon Veins. All right, if they like. Because I've always said I like a class of like that's able to manipulate environments, and Dragon Veins kind of did that, just not as a class. If they tone back the Dragon Veins and rework them so they're not so dependent, more specifically, this is like especially with Revelations, whereas I'm missing 89, whereas like in Conquest and Birthright, the Dragon Veins weren't necessary. They were just kind of an extra thing, which is where I thought they were at their best. So if they're able to do that, yeah, if they bring back Dragon Veins in a way that makes more sense, but is more optional, but still a lot of fun, I will be totally down with, because I really like the Dragon Veins. Any other gimmicks? I'm trying to think what other Fire Emblem games had gimmicks, so to speak. I hope Dungeon Exploring comes back. I thought, if possible, it doesn't have to, because it's kind of Echo's style, but if it does, that's cool. Miller's Turmoil. For the love of God, bring back Miller's Turmoil. That's the best addition Fire Emblem has ever had, because... Like, I know some people may think of it as a get out of jail free card if you screw up, but I don't, because not only does it allow you to do things, but half the time, even if you plan the best, the RNG, like, no matter what Fire Emblem game, RNG will sometimes just fuck you over. So I think Miller's Turmoil is a really good way of getting around that. Like, if you make a bad move, fair enough. But if it's like just a case of the RNG fucked you in the ass, then... You know, and you had to restart because of it, that's where the real kicker is, whereas Miller's Turmoil, you just get rid of that. I hope weapon skills come back, because I really like those in Echoes. It made it so that you used all your weapons very effectively, and it gave units who use them a lot more individuality, kind of like personal skills, just a bit better. So personal skills and weapon skills come back. That I'd really, really like. Try to think of any other gimmicks. The shove mechanic I'm always cool with. I know because pair up rescue is no longer a thing, but I really hope rescue can become its own option where you don't have to pair up a unit, you can just run with them, because, you know, after playing Binding Blade and Blazing Sword, I really do like the rescue option. So, you know, stuff like that, I'd like those type of gimmicks. You know, that's the type of gimmick I'd like to see come back. Next question, same person. Could you imagine doing a randomized playthrough of one of the GBA Fire Emblem games in any time in the future? Yes, like randomized and ROM hacks I do plan to play. As for which come first, maybe randomized because I'm more familiar with it and it'd be kind of funny. Because I have seen how randomizers work and it looks like a lot of fun. Especially like if we get a randomized run where a class isn't what they should be or a class gets really good stats. Like I can't wait for the randomized run where like Gwendolyn comes in as a Swordmaster. Like her stats are the same, but she comes in as Swordmaster because people have said she's either like the way she's built, she's more suited to being a Swordmaster or a Myrmidon or a Pegasus Knight. So if she comes in as one of those, that'd be awesome. Or we come in as Sophia and she's like she comes in like as like a like she's already a druid level 1 and stuff like that, so she can walk through Nabata like it's nothing. So that would be really interesting. So randomized runs I'll definitely do, probably before ROM hacks. Oh, nice critical. So yeah, randomized runs defo. Kill that son of a bitch. Okay. And new set of questions. Which is your favorite Monster Hunter monster from each monster family? Okay, I had to look at these up because there's so many different families. So, favorite flying wyvern is the Rathalos. He's my favorite monster. It still is. I know people question it, but I just love the Rathalos. The wyverns that dig into the ground and like kind of surf across. Sephirodrome out of choice only because the only other one is like Plesioth, and fuck the Plesioth, I don't like it. Favorite amphibian, definitely the I think it's Zamtros or Zamitros. Sorry, the name escapes, the full pronunciation escapes me. That one I really liked, even though I like the amphibians as a whole, like Tetsukapra was awesome, but Zamitros was just, or Zamtrios is just so good. Wonderful monster. The other one is like the bug ones. It's pretty much Desert Steltus Queen, because I love Steltus Queen and Desert Steltus Queen, but I prefer Desert a bit more. Maybe because she fucking launches the things at you like a bullet, and it does so much. Fanged Beast is an interesting one, because that's mainly like the Kongalalas and stuff. Hold on. Wait. I suppose Zenoga's a Fanged Beast. Hold on, let me double check. Okay, no, Zenoga's a Fanged Wyvern, not a Fanged Beast. But, okay, for Fanged Beast, it's the Gammoth. Because even though it's my least favourite of the 4, you know, Monster Hunter Generations monsters, those ones, I like it. It's still kind of cool. Massive monster, very bulky. That's why I have the Rathalos Charge Blade. Fanged Wyvern, Stygian Zenoga. I prefer it to the normal one, just love it. Herbivores, those are the ones that just go across the ground, the ones that get in the way. It's just the Apotonoth, because they're chill. I like them. Leviathan, definitely Lagiacrus. I love the Lagiacrus. It's awesome. And the normal one is my favorite. Abyssal's cool, but I like the normal one because you fight it in and out of water, whereas Abyssal, it's just water, and Ivory, it's just land. And Ivory can be a bitch when you first go up against it because its electric attacks are so fucking strong. Abyssal looks so cool though, like, Jesus Christ, the Abyssal looks nightmare fuel, but I love it. Brute Wyvern Brachydios. I love the Brachydios. It is just awesome monster. Yeah, it's kind of annoying when it gets really raged and it does that jump attack way too quickly. But aside from that, I just love the way it's designed. It's so unique. Its weapons are amazing. It's just such a good monster. I love it. Then there's like the other, I think there's Temnoceran or whatever it's called. That's Nursula. I really like, Nursula's a cool monster. It's one of my faves. Shrouded one's cool as well, but I just prefer the normal. And Snake Wyvern, it's Tidal Najarala. I like both Najaralas, but Tidal I think is kind of cooler because I prefer its color scheme and I like how it's, you know, it uses that like pinball effect with its water attack. It's just kind of cooler. Yeah. Question after that is, what are your current FE4 pairings? From what I remember off the top of my head, It was Idane and Medale. Again, this is just going off the top of my head. And keep in mind, I just pair these people characters up because I like them, so I don't want a massive rant in the comments about how I have to do it this way, like this specific way to get the best results. Do not care. I put Ira with Lex, Lewin with Aranis, and I think I put Finn with Lachesis or Lachesis, or whatever, however you pronounce it. As for everyone else, like, I can't remember who Sylvia went with off the top of my head. Same with Talitui and Brigid, or whatever it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay. After that, okay. Do you think Zephyr would still look down on humanity if his father did not try to kill him, but if Desmond took his own life shortly after the ceremony, and due to this, Zephyr goes into deep depression by failing to bring his family together? Honestly, I think Zephyr would definitely be upset, but I doubt he would go down the same path. I reckon his upset would only be temporary. Now I've got to be 528. Jesus, Lynn. Because I think it's not like... Zephyr obviously tried to, like, wanted his dad to love him, but I think the fact that his dad tried to kill him is what set him off the edge. If Desmond took his own life, I think Zephyr would have interpreted that maybe, like, he probably would have thought I wasn't good enough, but I reckon everyone else would really, really, really goad him on, like, you know, Murdoch and his mum, and Guinevere, and all the soldiers and all the people. They'd really, really try to help Zephyr, and also I think it'd be easier for him to get out of the depression, whereas, you know, his dad tried to kill him, so, you know, that would just make things way... That's like, you know... The fact that his own father tried to kill him, I think, is way worse for him. So I don't think Zephyr would be thingy. If anything, it might strive him to be even better. I reckon he'll still be slightly depressed and maybe not as compassionate, but I don't think he'd go down the same route. I think that was the nail in the coffin, the fact that Desmond tried to kill him. Besides, if Desmond did take his own life... No, aside from Zephyr, no one, and maybe Guinevere, no one would give a shit. Like, literally, it's like, Murdoch, the king's dead. Oh. Townspeople, the king's dead. Oh. I don't know why I used the axe. I honestly don't know why I did. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I can't answer that question for you. That's a question for the Q&A session. Why the fuck did you use an axe? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, next question. What is your favorite anime? My favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop. I mean, as of now, things can change, but it's just an anime I absolutely love. I love the story, characters are amazing, soundtrack is probably the best in any anime, the dub is probably the best in any anime, the animation is wonderful, I love the way it's structured and stuff like that. Oh, this is Walker. No, oh yeah. You know, Murdoch thanks us for that jazz. Again, I like how other characters pop up in villages. I think it's cool. I wonder what Murdoch's doing there, though. Like, seriously, what is Murdoch doing there? Murdoch needs his own... Alright, if they're doing a remake, give us more about Murdoch. I want to know what what he went through during Zephyr's time. Like, before... Between and before... Blazing Sword and Binding Blade. As I was saying, yeah. Bebop is my favourite. I just think it's fantastic. It's tons of fun. I think it's an absolute classic. If you ever interested in anime, it's one of the best ones to start with. I recommend it as the third best to go with. Cowboy Bebop is amazing. What is your favourite Sonic game? My favourite Sonic game is Sonic CD. I mean, I'm overall more of a fan of the 3D stuff, but CD I just love because I just think the time stuff is really cool. Introduced Metal Sonic, my favourite character. I love the music. I love the special stages. I just, like, the level design isn't the best, but I really enjoy it. I just think Sonic CD, I think it looks beautiful. Like, I love the color palette and the locations. I just think it's a really, really, really... That Berserker sucks. It's my favorite Sonic game. I absolutely love Sonic CD. So much fun. And you also asked, what is your opinion on Gravity Falls? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I heard it's good, but I have yet to watch it. Okay, and we're going to stop here. So when we next week, we're going to continue with these questions. We're going to promote Nino finally, and we're going to recruit a Wyvern Lord who was once an enemy, and it's going to be a fun time. And Ellawood is also going to finally promote as well. But until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.